What people need today is passive income. People need to be focused on not, before you get wealth, don't worry about wealth creation, worry about passive income, not earned income. Get your earned income. Second thing is you need passive income. Income that you get paid, I'm talking to your audience now, whether you work or don't work, whether you go to work, don't work, sick or not sick, whether there's a COVID or not a COVID, a war or not a war, you still get paid every month. That is the only true money on this planet.
All right, guys, we had some technical difficulties, but I think I got it. Just let me check, make sure I'm streaming right. Let's make sure we got any comments. All right, looks like we're live. All right. Yeah, we got 3 people so far. All right. Sorry about that, man. Had some hiccups.
Yeah, no worries. Glad to be here, Brad. Again, man. A little Sunday stream. Never a dull moment, but it's all good, man. So yeah, we got a lot to go over. I know we're gonna talk about Plazm, and yeah, bro, I'll let you kind of take the lead, and we can get started for sure.
Yeah, I was like, the last time I did a live stream was with you. And it was last year on December the 17th. That's the last time I did a live stream.
Wow, man. Time flies. Holy cow, bro. I remember that. I think it was probably right when around Fusion launching again, right? Or yeah.
All that stuff.
Yeah. Man, it's crazy. When you're in crypto, one day feels like, an entire year. It's like dog years on steroids. So
right.
Yeah.
First question I want to ask you is, how did you come up with the name Plazm?
Yeah, no doubt. I love it. That's a great question to start the stream. So yeah, I mean, you know us, we always have a big emphasis on branding, and EMP, the actual original EMP protocol was, essentially a take on our competitor at the time, which was Bomb Money. They were paid to the price of Bitcoin, and we were paid to the price of ETH. And so EMP, meaning an electromagnetic pulse, basically an electrical bomb. And so the whole electrical theme just kind of stuck with us. And everything we've done, whether it's, fusion, or, within fusion, we have microgrids, Plazm being, like a fusion reactor, what's a byproduct of that is Plazm. So that's kind of where it came from, and just sticking with the overall electrical theme.
All right, so I figured we're gonna start off this. I guess you can see the screen with the.
Yeah, perfect.
Okay. Yeah, let's start off with. Let me launch the DApp real quick. I just want to talk about all these tabs right here: the earn, the burn, stats, referrals.
Yeah, man, we'll go through it one by one. Let's go. Yeah. So the first one that earn, I mean, that is the home base. That's, obviously we're all here to try to make some money. And the first tab being earn is where all the magic happens. So this is where you'll be able to decide whether you want to create, stake, or easy mode, which again is something we just released a few weeks ago. That's been really, really cool. So with a daily creation platform, so again, just to recap a little bit, I know a lot of your audience is familiar with it already, but Plazm is essentially what we call a daily creation platform. And a lot of you might remember protocols like Hex or Wise, even was an OG one, or TitanX, any of those, where essentially rather than the supply being minted or released all at once, the supply is given out over a set number of days, or in our case, years, and you are rewarded for participating in the system with that supply. So I hate to make a comparison, but it is really easy to understand. Just like with Bitcoin, you mine Bitcoin or you mine cryptocurrencies that are proof of work. You get part of the supply. Now, usually your input is, electricity and having a hardware, miner. In our system, it's capital. So again, you're essentially mining the future supply with Ethereum or eShare through creating and staking. So that's kind of a high level overview. And creating allows you to create future supply with Ethereum or eShare. Staking allows you to actually go on the market and stake Plazm for a future reward in the supply. And what's really cool about Plazm is those release pools are the same. So in a lot of other protocols, early creators are the ones that get the large portion of the
Right.
supply. But with our system, because they're shared from the same release pool, you actually are not at a disadvantage by getting in a little bit later. Now, if you get in years from now, then yeah, I mean you're going to have a harder time keeping up with the share rate. But only 56 days in, it's arguable that the stakers now are able to get a bigger share of that release pool as well. And the system is designed that way on purpose. So shout out to Unity and Taurus. We're a fork of the system created by Cryptographics. But we've really taken it to a whole nother level with this perpetual buy and burn, which we'll talk about when we get there. But to answer your question, again, to get involved in the system, the Earn tab is the way to go, and creating or staking. But the easy mode is really, it takes all the guesswork out of it, and the system will automatically choose what is more profitable, creating or staking. And if you already have Plazm or eShare, you can convert that automatically as well. So it's a way to not have to know what to swap, where to go on Uniswap or other exchanges. You can do it all right there in the dApp itself.
Yeah, and I'm glad y'all guys added that Uniswap widget as well. This is the main screen, guys.
Sure.
As you guys know, it's on basechain, and the part right here says create. You can see which option is better. We're gonna go with create. You see right now 6,530,000%, and then you got stake, which is a little less at 6,440,000%. So it's better to create a stake than it is to start off staking. If you go to easy mode automatically sets it up for you. Tells you the easiest method, which is right now is to create as well. But with easy mode, you can deposit USDC, you can deposit ETH, you can deposit eShare, or you can deposit Plasma. Remember, guys, the longer you stake it, which is the max of 77 days, is the more Plasm you will get. All right. So
perfect. Yeah, 100%. And yeah, just to elaborate a little bit more on that too. We're at almost like an equilibrium right now. So depending on the price of eShare or the price of Plasm at any given moment, it may turn to be more profitable to stake rather than create, or create rather than stake. So
Right.
easy mode just easy mode's updated in real time to help you figure it out. And yeah, the length is a big deal too, because again, there may be situations where you can do a shorter length and potentially flip, and still be in profit. But if you always do the max 77 days, you get the biggest multiplier. So
Right.
it really just helps. It helps protect you from the price going down. I mean, we did a post a few days ago in the Telegram. I made this comparison. Obviously price matters, but price matters a lot less when you're focused on actual units. So the whole idea is that by doing those 77 days and going out really, really far to get the maximum bonus, even if Plasm goes to like 10 cents in a worst case scenario, you're still in profit because you've earned so much more bonus Plasm. So that's the whole concept behind that.
And then also on Plasma, we have separate stakes. So you got separate stakes for easy mode, and you have separate stakes for the classic mode. I guess I would call it.
Yep, for sure. So yeah, we separate it because again, it is technically on the back end a little bit different. And there is, a very low 0.5% convenience fee on easy mode as well. So that also affects the math a little bit, but that fee doesn't go to us as the devs or anything. It goes into the treasury, which is really cool because that is just another way that we get more and more ETH into bonds. So we'll talk about that in a minute, but yeah, it is still separate for easy mode, and then if you know what you're doing and you're more comfortable, you can do it on your own through staking or creating.
All right. Let's go back up to burn.
Awesome. All right. Yep.
Come on,
So now
there we go.
burn. Yep. So this is where the magic happens. So the burn pool is essentially showing you the buy and burn and the buy and build. So we call it BBB just to make it easy. That when I say BBB, it will mean both buy and burn and buy and build. And so what happens is a buy and burn is exactly what it sounds like, but it buys Plazm off the market and burns it. And so what that does is it essentially makes Plazm deflationary, and it pushes the floor price up automatically. What a lot of people don't realize is just burning a token really doesn't have an economic impact. It makes more scarcity, but if nobody wants to buy it, the scarcity doesn't matter anyway. But if you buy the token and then burn it, you're having a multiplicity effect because you're actually creating that buy pressure and then removing those tokens. So another analogy would be in every other crypto protocol, me and Crypto Pride, we buy a token and I have to sell it to Pride at a higher price than I bought it for, or he has to sell it to me for a higher price than he bought it for. And that's the only way people make money in traditional crypto PvP, zero sum. Well, we are no longer PvP and zero sum because of that buy and burn. So there's always this big giant, benevolent whale that has at current rate right now 88 grand waiting to be deployed that is buying without ever selling the token. So me and Pride can now both be in profit because the whale is buying up all the tokens. And so again, that is so fundamentally different than every other meme or non external yield revenue. And so the first part right there, buy and burn, is with eShare. So that is all the eShare that's been used to go into the treasury, and it's buying and burning right now about 1% of the overall pool, which is roughly $2.33 every 10 minutes. And that is depleting. So that works just like any other treasury in these uh, creation platforms, where unless there is new users, it will go down and eventually go to zero. Now what? Yeah, exactly. And that is really the big deal. I mean, that's why we're so different. Every other protocol relies on new users. We obviously we want new users, and that will help, but we're not relying on new users. And that is where it, go ahead. Yeah.
I was just saying we don't need new users because we're creating real yield by taking the ETH that's depositing this platform and using it for the DEX 5 votes and creating real yield.
Exactly. So, yep, 100%. We'll go into more detail on that in the next page. But if you scroll down, you can see the actual USDC pool. So this right now is 20 grand of USDC ready to go, and that is gaining. We're gaining roughly $700 to $800 a day right now, adding to that, and that is through the real yield from bonds. So imagine, $800 a day going into the buy and burn without ever depleting the principal of the treasury, and doing it without ever needing new users to come in, like you said, Pride. So that is so, again, and like it's such a game changer, and why I get so excited about this sort of protocol that we've improved upon, for sure. So
Let's get some,
all that, go
let's
ahead.
get some applause for that right there.
Yeah, I love
All
it.
right.
Yeah, man. So that's a buy and burn, and then the buy and build is the same uh uh concept. So rather than building the token, we're actually buying and building, which is another way of saying adding liquidity. So all
Mhm.
this also not only buying and burning the token, but now we're buying and adding more liquidity on eShare Plasm. And in reality, that also acts as a burn, even though technically it doesn't reduce the supply. It will lock up more Plasm and eShare in the LP itself. So this is really, again, a cool addition because now there's plenty of liquidity that only grows as time goes on. And again, I mean, all these parameters are adjustable as well. So when we get to like $1 million in liquidity, we can actually even adjust um, to more buy and burn rather than buy and build because there is a point where, too much liquidity is just dead money, not necessarily working for the protocol. And so that's a really cool thing too. And we hope within the first 2 or 3 cycles, we get to 1 million in liquidity pretty easily, I think, because again, half of that is also eShare. So if eShare does a 10x, then that will also boost the liquidity on Plasm. And anybody that doesn't want eShare, which again, if you sell Plasm, you can get eShare, and then you can sell the eShare to ETH. So
Mhm.
there's always a way to get completely out. But even just selling to eShare is bullish because now you're accumulating more eShare as well, which is a really low supply token. We could do a whole stream
Yeah.
on eShare as well. But that is really cool mechanism, and we've never really seen a daily creation platform like this that has a secondary token that has such a low supply. So it makes it really volatile, but the upside potential is massive.
Now, quick question: is it best to once you get your I keep saying plasma.
Yeah.
Once you get your plasma, is it better to sell it into E shares first or sell it into ETH?
Yeah, so as
Which
long
is
as you're Yeah, so the name of the game is just accumulating. So what we have been saying from day one is that the people that are really going to make the most money are the ones that are here for multiple cycles.
better?
So if you're willing to participate the right way, and I use that loosely because everybody can do whatever they want. That's the beauty of crypto. But if you have a long-term mindset, you're able to accumulate a massive amount of the supply by sticking around for 2 or 3 cycles or more, and then that buy and burn, $1,000 a day, it could be 2,000, 3,000, $4,000 a day, and those that have stayed get to experience all the benefit of that. So the short answer is, yeah, if you want to sell your Plasm to eShare or ETH, you can. But what we recommend is, at least for the first few cycles, that you take the Plasm that you earned, and then you can go right to easy mode and use Plasm to go back in, and it will automatically sell a little bit of Plasm to pay for the fees, but not your entire stack, so that you don't earn more moving forward.
It's a 5% fee, right?
Yeah, so it's a 5% fee on the creation. So that's another little bit of confusing part. Um, it's not based on dollar value, so it's whatever it would cost you to create the same amount of Plasm. It's 5% of that. So it does get a little bit pricey as the price goes down, but that is part of the way the system has been designed so that we're putting more and more into the bonds and the treasury as we go. So,
right. The next thing that everybody's talking about, you know what I'm about to say already. Day 77, 21 more days. What's going to happen? And you want to explain that real quick? What you think is going to happen?
yeah, absolutely, bro. So again, the big I guess scare for everybody that we see with protocols like this is day 77 is when the biggest amount of the supply starts coming out. And if you go to the stats page, we can start looking at it as well, and talking about bonds. But we'll start with the top part. If you actually go down to the first link. Yep, one more. Yep, right there. So if you, yep, perfect. So this is a third party site. Shout out to Rover and John. And what you can see here is this is the amount of total creations, the creations today, the stakes today. But if you go to one more down, there's another graph. It shows you when all the supply is coming out. So you can see, yeah, right around day 77, 78, 79. Those are the big spikes. And everybody's fear is, when those come out, that everybody dumps to zero. And we've seen that with a lot of other protocols. But there are some key differences with Plasm. So, will we see a dump? Probably. I mean, let's be
December,
real. Yeah,
December 15th, December 16th, December 17th is the biggest day. And
Yeah.
December 17th, that's the big day. 196 creations and stakes coming up.
For sure. So we will most likely see a dump, but I don't think it's going to be nearly as bad as people think it will be. So number one, a lot of people that are in the system right now, they understand that it's about the long game, and really, staying in the system. Number two of the biggest whales, allegedly, are protocol owned wallets. So that alone will not dump. Again, as we move forward, the whole idea is that we try to protect the price, not dump it on everybody's heads. And number three, the system is actually designed to absorb that supply automatically. So that, absolutely.
Let me stop you right there because I have a slide that Grover put out and I want to present to you guys.
I love it.
This is from Grover, one of the admins in the Plazm Telegram.
Yep, Telegram. Yep.
Quick note on how the buy and burn actually works with real numbers. The buy and burn isn't a giant instant blast. It is a controlled engine that buys every 10 minutes and scales up when needed. After the simulated 2.5 million plasma mega dump, which we're talking about, the pool sits at 2.5 million plasma, 32 E-share, price roughly 90 cents it will be, right? And then when we turn the buy and burn up to 10 to 15% per day, this is what actually happens. At 10% per day, it buys 3.2 E-share per day. At 15%, it buys 4.8 E-share per day. Because it's a bonding curve automatic market maker, removing that much E-share forces plasma to be burned. 10% set-in burns 281,000 plasma on day one. 15% set-in burns 447,000 plasma on day one to bring the price back from the 90 cent, which we project is going to be, back to $1.80. All right. The pool only needs to burn about 1.2 million plasm. So the recovery looks like this. At 10% per day, it'll only take 4.5 days to get back to $1.80. At 15% per day, 2.8 days to get back to $1.80. All done through smooth buy every 10 minutes, not a single big spike. This is why the system doesn't survive big dumps. It slowly is grinding back into buyback fuel. And then the last slide they have is after a true full nuke where plasma falls to 1 to 4 cent range, E-share nuke 85 to 95%. The pool sits at 2.5 million plasma, 32 E-share. Turn the buy and burn up to the 10 to 15% per day. Does this 10% burns 281,000 plasma, 15% burns 447,000 plasma a day. Only 1.26 million needed to be burned to restore price, which is just crazy to me. Recovery times 10%, 4.5 days, 15%, 2.5 days. Even from a 1 to 4 cent nuke, plasma returns to $1.80 in under 3 to 5 days.
Let's go. Yeah,
Let's
hell
go.
yeah, Brad. I know, man. So that really lays it out. And again, this is not just made up numbers. This is the actual math. And so, yeah, the way the system is designed, as the price goes down, like you just mentioned, the buy and burn becomes even more powerful. And, obviously, again, when I say price doesn't matter, price matters, but only when you go to sell. So even if we do dip, to a full nuke 1% or down to 1 cent, it's only a matter of days, literally, as you just saw, before we recover. So don't panic sell. Again, practice good. Delayed gratification, and just understand how the system works. And
Mhm.
once you do, you're actually praying that the price dumps,
Mhm.
because then there is a lot less plasm on the market. The buy and burn does so much work, the lower the price goes. And that's just the beautiful design of how this has been, rolled out for sure.
All right, so let me go to some comments. Let's effing go. LFG from Stinky Beans.
Yeah,
AJ,
man.
what's
Thank
and
you.
I guess.
Just
Huh?
be, yeah, man. Everybody here. Duke's here. Awesome. So, yeah, shout out to all of you that showed up. I know it's a Sunday,
Yeah.
but obviously this will be recorded. And yeah, and then the only other thing I want to mention while we're on here, Pride, is, the other thing is the system itself will also spread out the supply. So, what I mean by that is when we first started, there was actually 4 million Plazm that was coming out on day 77. Now it's about 2.3 million. And the reason that is that every day from here on out, when somebody new creates a stake or a creation, it also takes from the same pool. So it's always reducing the amount of supply that will be coming out from previous participants. And, obviously, some people say, well, it sucks I get diluted, but as long as you're not here for one cycle or, one or two creations, that's actually a really big positive for you, because now you know that that supply can be handled, a lot better by the system, and really does reward diamond handers. I mean, we all say that diamond handers get rewarded in protocols, but usually, unfortunately, diamond handers end up being the exit liquidity for those that are short term. In this system, it is the exact opposite. It truly rewards diamond handers because they're getting most of the supply. And when people sell in the short term, they can only sell once.
Yeah.
So if you have Plasm, and once you sell it all, that's it. You got to buy back, at a potentially higher price. So that all is really, really different in the way the design is.
All right. So are we finished talking about this screen right here?
Yeah, so this is another, just at the very bottom, one last little point is after day 77, we get to what we call the mathematical floor price. And so eventually, once most of the supply is out, and it could take, a few years or 1 year or just a few cycles, we don't
Mhm.
really know the time frame. But once we get there and do hit an actual floor price, because the buy and burn is always buying and burning without depleting, then
And the
it
bottom
truly,
and the
yeah,
bottom brands be way more by that time.
exactly, bro. And it will do this sort of a staircase effect up and to the right, because it's always raising the floor of, Plasm. So again, that's another cool thing, is that once we do find the floor, then the system is even more powerful than what we're seeing now. So
So is this saying the floor price after the full dump would be like 12 cents?
yeah, according to this graph right now, it's about that. So again, if all the plasm in existence was sold all at once, you're looking at, yeah, about 12 cents. And then, again, that is only
Well, I guess it'd be
that
sorry, it actually be like $1.60. Right? That's the
yeah,
plastic.
Yeah, there you go. So yeah, I can't see it that well on here, but yeah, I think you're right. Dollar, yeah, which makes sense from that
Yeah.
previous post. And again, it's all theoretical. If the price of eShare drops and along with the price of ETH and Plasm, then obviously the floor price can get lower. But at some point we do hit a bottom, and then over multiple cycles, it only goes up and to the right. And that's because too the treasury will always grow. So
Yes.
every time a new user enters, although we don't need new users, it's only adding to the treasury and what it can produce. And right now we're only at about 100 grand. I'm sorry, about 300 grand in the treasury. We could get to 1 million. Yeah, right there, and be at $2,000-3,000 a day. And just to put that in perspective, um, Titan X has about 18 million in ETH. It's probably a little bit less now, but when we first launched,
Mhm.
even if it was 10 million in ETH, I mean, we would be producing about 20 grand a day in buying pressure from the pine burn. So it scales up tremendously for sure.
All right.
Yep,
Uh,
and you can keep track of all that too. Just one more thing on this page at the very bottom. That is our bond ownership. So
yeah.
right now, obviously the first line there, the ETH, Vault ETH balance, that will fluctuate because it's based on the price of the assets that
Mhm.
we are exposed to. But again, in an actual alt season, that number could double without any new users, because we have exposure to all the underlying assets. And right now we own almost 20% of all the treasury bonds.
Yeah. 4,000.
Yeah,
Wow.
yeah, 4,100 bonds. Yep, and then the P&L we're up about 41K.
Mhm.
From day one, which was just under $1,000, a day that's been accumulated, and it's all transparent as well. So yep, you click right there, you can see all the ownership and all the LP positions in bonds. So, we own again about 20% of all the LPs in here. So,
Wow. So you can see the votes that they have on base chain right here.
yep, all fully transparent. And that's how we produce the yield. So, again, the ETH that is used to buy bonds is then deployed into different LP pairs. And then we earn fees on those external LP pairs for being liquidity providers. And then that is real external yield, that is brought back into the ecosystem.
Yeah.
Yeah, so really powerful stuff. And again, we're one of the only protocols, other than I think Monstros, that actually shows the LP position. So we're big on being transparent, and we you can, if you look at the transactions, you can track literally down to the penny of where the money goes. So
All right.
awesome. All right, so that's that page. And then the rest is pretty straightforward. So we do have a referral system that's been really bullish. Use CryptoPride's referral
Yep.
address. Make sure you post that. And so it's 2%.
Yes.
Um, yeah, of all the ETH coming in is given as a referral, and we're able to do that because of the real yield. So we in the past we haven't really been big fans of the referral systems
Mhm.
because it takes away from the treasury, but because we're always making new revenue, we can support the referral system. So that's bullish. Yep, and then buy Plazm. Again, we updated this. We are working with the Switch team, but they had a hard time integrating some of the tokens. So now we're back to Uniswap, and you can just swap right here
Mhm.
in the app as well. So,
All right.
yep, base eShare, all that stuff. If you already have eShare
Uh-huh.
on BSC, you can use that bridge right there. That's our DexFi bridge. This is only bridging eShare from BSC to Base. We are going to be discontinuing eShare on Base. I'm sorry, on BSC or BNB. So make sure that you move it over. And moving forward, everything will be on Base. And it's better for everybody. It allows us to use our entire ecosystem without having to bridge back to BNB. So
here's the bonds right here. If you want to get to low price, 76.91. I can't believe it, AJ.
I know, Brad.
Opportunity.
I know, bro. It is. And again, everybody gets worried that, the bond price is low, or, the market's crashing, but it goes the other way as well. Unfortunately, when we launch bonds, we've done a full round trip now, on the price and even less, in terms of alts. But, as soon as other alts that we have exposure to, once they recover, we could see that both ETH price and dollar value skyrocket. So it's not really about impermanent loss or any other issues. It's just we need to have some alts start performing. So
All
yep,
right.
and then the rest else is the docs. Yep, it's pretty self-explanatory. And then the portfolio page. Yeah, I know that'll be a way you can see. There you go. You got your profile picture and everything, man. You can download that button at the top up there if you want to represent on Telegram or X. And yeah, it shows all your positions. And obviously, again, $2,000 into 15 grand. We hope that the price, yeah, man, we hope that it holds up.
Like I'm almost,
even, yeah,
I would say I'm almost the ROI on this platform. If I go to my earn section,
yeah, you've been in since day one, right? Pretty much.
Ended positions already. Oh, where's it at?
Yeah, it might take a minute to load. Oh, you have to refresh, but yeah, it should be under there. Oh, if you go to create or stake. Oh, there it is. Yep, you got it. Yeah.
These are my ended ones already. Look, 137% ROI, 453% ROI, 226% ROI. So
yeah,
already,
and that's realized.
That's already,
those are realized.
Yes, these are realized. So that's 1,000, 1,200, and that's only put in what 1,700 in this thing already.
Let's go.
Then I have active creations about to end in 3 days. Look at this, $3,760, $370 in 3 days, guys. It is possible. Yeah. These are real numbers.
It is, bro. And again, everybody says, well, how can you do, 8,000% ROI? The answer is, obviously it is a bit of dashboard money until the profits are realized. But as you see right here on screen, it is possible. And so, I mean, again, if the price stays where it is, those numbers are real, on when you create. So again, it's been amazing, man. Honestly, we've been building protocols for years now, and the way we've integrated real yield, the way the system protects itself on minting or creating and staking. I mean, we're low key one of the hottest dApps out there right now, and it's only a matter of time before people realize. And I think on day 77, when we get the dip. But the dip is not as bad as people think. That is when I think we get a ton of eyeballs that say, oh shit, they figured it out, So yeah.
Once I put the video out with me making $4,000 in one day, they're gonna open up their eyes.
Yeah, man, no doubt. I love it. So
in 3 days.
Yeah. So yeah, we'll see if the price holds up. And again, that's the whole reason that we recommend the longer days. Because even if in this example, Brad, like the price goes down by a half or 75%, you're still in massive profit. So
and guys, awesome, so easy to create a stake. I'm just going to create a stake for you guys, show you how to create a stake. So this is right now the best way to create a stake. Simple, get yourself some ETH on basechain, right? I got max 77 days. This stake is going to end on February 8th. And you can see the estimated earned plasma is 1,706. And just create. And right when you create, they have two different options. You got the standard option right here, which is lower gas fees without the NFT minting. Creation is always locked to your wallet, ideal for set and forget. Then you have the other option, which is wrap creation NFT, where you can trade this NFT to already, right? This is live right now, right?
Yeah, it is absolutely. So you can once you create it, there's a little button when you do it that says transfer, so you can transfer it right away. And eventually, once we get through a few more cycles, we'll have a marketplace where you can buy and sell the NFTs as well. So if you needed to get out early without having to dump or lose out from ending early, you could just sell it on the secondary
Right.
market.
So it's gonna launch that. It's gonna be processing. Then all you gotta do is pretty much confirm it in your wallet, right?
For sure.
Let me confirm that real quick. Oh, I gotta log into my ledger. Always have a ledger or something.
Yeah, hardware wallet. You practice what you preach. Pride for sure, man.
All right. And this is processing. Boom. Plasma created successfully. You can close it out.
Perfect, bro. You're locked in. And remember too, don't panic either. Sometimes people get worried because if they do a creation, exactly, bro. Yeah, so the first day you may see a negative ROI, but remember every single day you're earning more and more plasm. So
negative 3.7.
Yeah.
This will be gone in 2 days, buddy. It'll be positive like the rest of these.
Exactly, bro. So yeah, and that's just again part of the design because it does the math on the real numbers. So we can't make it show something that we don't really know what it will be in the future. So yeah.
All right.
Awesome. Yeah, man. I don't see any other questions. I think that was a great overview, bro. We've been putting out a lot more AI content as well. A lot of you, Thomas, G, a lot of the big influencers have been covering Plazm and trying to educate people. So if you're still a little overwhelmed, I would say join the Telegram and speak with some of the admins. We have a lot of really smart people in there that can help you out for sure.
All right, AJ, I guess that's a wrap, right?
Yeah, bro, no doubt. Well, yeah.
I will say, if you want to get into Plasma, the link is in the description below. Very simple. You see how simple it was to create a stake. So it's just a matter of waiting, just collect your Plasma, then reinvest.
Yep, 100%, man. It really is that simple once you understand, all the mechanisms at play. And again, Brad, I appreciate you. You've been a long time supporter, bro. We go way back. And we have some updates too on Fusion. So I'd love to do another AMA with you when we go live. We should be ready on base within just a few more days. And that's also bullish because that should put even more buying pressure on eShare. Yeah. And again, the higher the price of eShare, the better Plazm does as well. So yeah, man, we're building a complete flywheel that supports our entire ecosystem, which is so bullish. So
right.
All right, brother. Thank you.
Thank you guys for tuning in as well.
All right, cheers, everybody. Have a good night.